Hi guys, Kim Jong Lee here with another online commentary battle. So I'm playing here as the Scipio Romans. My ally is Paglia, who you may remember from last game on the enemy team. Our opponents are JGP and Lady in Red, who I believe is Malta. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm actually not too sure who this person is, but apparently he or she is well known in the community. So might be Malta, might be someone else. I think someone else in the game knew who he was, but I didn't really catch on. Anyway. To start off, we'll go through the builds just quickly. Paglia here's got 14-6, I've got 14-6. The amazing build. JGP's also gone for 14-6. I don't think there's a Legendary first anywhere. Lady in Red, however, has gone for a bit of a different build, and he's gone for 5 Arch Auxilia. And he's gone for 5 Praetorian Cav, so he sacrificed 1 Cav and 4 Urbans to bring these guys. And if you look at his Cav, though, these are going to be highly upgraded. So they're gold, and a chevron each, I believe, it looks like. Gold, and a chevron, yep. And I guess this infantry would be pretty beefy as well. Oh, there is a legionary first, so correct, I'm wrong there. There's 2 legionary first cohorts, so that's quite interesting. His infantry is actually very weak, because he's gone for these legionary firsts. So I'll get the battle rolling. And basically my plan at the start of the battle was, because if you analyze the builds, these Arch Auxilia are going to be pretty worthless if you just attack and manage to get engagements with the infantry. These Arch Auxilia won't have enough time to get value through the game. So my plan was really just to be aggressive and attack him. But my initial thought was to attack Lady in Red's guys, because he doesn't have very strong infantry. He's got 2 legionary firsts, maybe even more, 3 legionary firsts. So he's compromising a lot. Is that a 4th one? Holy crap. 4 legionary firsts, 5 legionary firsts. He loves his legionary first cohort, so that's actually wasted money in my opinion, because the legionary first, if you didn't know, actually loses quite handily to the urban cohort. So it's more expensive and it loses. So most of the time people only bring 1 at most. I think that's reasonable to bring 1 for the morale boost, but you really don't want your legionary firsts to be your frontline units, because they demoralize your other dudes when they're out, and they're just not as good as urbans. So on average, they'll just lose out, and your army will be worse. So anyway, Lady in Red's gone for 5 legionary first, which is quite interesting, and he's gone for these Arch Auxilia. So you can see he's actually done something pretty nice here. He's gone for a flank with the Arch Auxilia. So this will be pretty good. He's going to be able to get a lot of kills already on these Praetorian Cav, and done a really nice job there. So I can see why Paglia is very desperate to get these Praetorian Cav over here. I'm actually, I'll pause it at this point, because what I had in mind was I would be aggressive on this right side. I'm pretty confident that I can beat JGP over here, especially if I get a bit of help from Paglia, if he plays defensively and conservatively with his infantry and Cav. If he's closer to support me, then I can definitely wrap up JGP. And basically, these archers are really only going to be good against the Cav. If they shoot your urbans, you're totally fine with that, because the urbans have a lot of armor, and it'll be from the front. So I really just wanted Paglia to defend, and I would attack and try and wrap up this flank as best I could. But surprisingly to me, Paglia goes straight for, he just shoots straight for these Cav of Lady in Red. And granted, you do have the numbers advantage, because it's 5v6. But Lady in Red has better support at this point, because my Cav is a bit further away than JGP's. So Lady in Red has kind of the numbers on his side if you add in JGP's Cav. He's also got some infantry over here he can bring in to possibly support. And his Cav are also more highly upgraded. So these have all got 1 chevron compared to just the gold that'll be on Paglia's. So I didn't really like this move from Paglia, to be honest. I wasn't really counting on this happening, but it happened. And fortunately for him, I think Lady in Red kind of runs away. So Paglia's... Oh, okay. So Lady in Red turns around, actually, and goes for this fight, which is fair. I think I probably would have gone for it as well, just because JGP is quite close to support, and you have a lot of infantry in the vicinity. So it's just a big Cav brawl at this point on this side here. And I expect Lady in Red to basically win this pretty good. That's actually a really nice charge through the rear there for Paglia. So we'll see how it goes, but Paglia's guys, some of them routing already under the weight of just so much infantry that Lady in Red has close by. And here's come JGP's Cav. Now my Cav were pretty late, because they were the furthest Cav away from the big fight, so I'm really just going for some kills on the infantry here, see if I can get a few routes, because I can't really salvage this for Paglia by going for the cav. I have to go for just the closest targets, which are these infantry. But unfortunately for me, when I get there, Lady in Red's already kind of reformed most of his dudes, and Paglia's infantry is kind of a mess as well, so that's not good. But some of Paglia's cav does come back, fortunately for him. But you can see here, Lady in Red has this amazing angle already going through this back, and at this point I'm really just praying that Paglia's guys don't route to this, because this is an amazing charge angle for Paglia. So I'm quite surprised that a chain route didn't just occur, but fortunately this buys me enough time to come in with a very nice counter here. And it cuts through a lot of Lady in Red's cav, and we take actually a very nice trade there. JGP's coming in to support his ally here, so this is a good charge for JGP. And I fortunately pull out most of my cav in time, but we'll see who comes out worse for it. But yeah, he gets a nice route as well here with the counter. So that was pretty good for JGP. So far, I'd say it's still pretty even. These Archer Auxilia still haven't been dealt with though, which is a bit unfortunate, but it is what it is. I go in here for another kind of charge, but it's not going to be great, I don't think, because JGP's already pulled out and Paglia's guys aren't really engaged, so that's not going to be a very good charge there for me. But fortunately, I do have this angle now on the side, so this can actually be pretty lethal if used correctly. On this right side, all my dudes and JGP's dudes have basically been pulled into this main fight now, so it's really going to be seeing who has the resources where. JGP comes in with a really nice angle here that I didn't even see until it was really late, and he gets 2 of my units there for free almost, so that was really nicely played by him. So I go in for a counter here because I see his cav is occupied. Going for a bit of a counter charge. Paglia here, some great support with his infantry. So we're going to get some pretty nice damage done here, taking out 2 units for ourselves. So that's pretty nice. The general now of Lady in Red also tied up on the front of his infantry, so that's pretty nice. I think we definitely have the infantry edge, just because they decided to go for so many Archer Auxilia. Obviously getting nice shots in now, but are they going to get enough volleys in to make themselves worth it is the question. And again, I have this really nice sweet angle, going for the general kill as well, just trying to slice through. We'll see if that does any work. JGP here doesn't really have as good of an angle as me. I've managed to reform my guys to really make a nice wall here, so they're doing quite well actually against JGP's cav charges, because they're from the front. If I were him, I'd probably try and get them on a flank or something, because they're not going to be anywhere near as effective as mine from the side. An alternative for JGP would have been to actually target down my cav. My cav is actually dying very quickly to these Archer Auxilia. If he turns around and decides to just fend off my cav with his, or try and kill my cav with his, finds an opportunity to do that, then he could have a big advantage if he's the only one with cav left in the game. But fortunately for me, he's just going for these kind of charges onto the front, so it's not too effective. I think he's a bit disorganized as well with his cav maybe in the rear lines, but he has gotten them behind, which is good for him. But that's basically given me quite a few cycles to charge in and out of this side of JGP's infantry, and I think even killing his general there. So for us, that's very good, because we really needed a break. I believe we were on the rear foot for a lot of this game because of that initial fight over here. But some of Paglia's guys have come back, so he's going to bring them back soon. Some of JGP's cav actually routed here because they charged in the back, and I managed to wrap actually this urban around them. So fortunately for me, the morale penalty was just a bit too much, I think. But we're also going to have a very nice counter charge for me through here. Although my cav is quite depleted, it's still a good counter charge. It gets a lot of damage done, and that's really what you want out of units. You just want to maximize the damage you do. We can see these Archer Auxilia just pouring arrows in, but they're not doing too much. I think even these flaming arrows might have actually done more damage to their morale than ours, just because it was pretty messy, and maybe some of the arrows would have hit his friendly units. So that's pretty much the game because of that chain route at the end. A good slice by me through the side there to end it, but it was a very close game overall, and definitely could have gone either way. These Archer Auxilia now are pretty much useless because of Testudo. Testudo just makes them redundant, essentially. Even if all this cab dies, you just Testudo, and their arrows don't do anything. So these Archer Auxilia are not useful in the late game for this game. It's a different dynamic to against Pike factions that don't have Testudo, because if you have archers, you can shoot the backs and get a lot of damage done in the late game in a box type situation. But against Rome, archers are not that good, so I didn't really like bringing the archers for Lady in Red this game. But I mean, you can see how the infantry really kind of the infantry fight didn't really go in their favor because of all the legionary first cohorts that they had, so those didn't do too well. And also the Cav, although it went their way, they weren't really able to turn that into a win, unfortunately, for them. I think they did have the advantage at the start, though, because Lady in Red's Cav actually was able to bait Paglia into charging. That was probably a mistake by Paglia, in my opinion. Probably shouldn't have taken that initial Cav fight. Should have probably just taken it a bit slower. Tried to make something happen on the right side instead of going for the very highly upgraded Cav of Lady in Red. But overall, good game. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll see you guys next time.